Depeche Mode has easily been one of the most successful and impactful electronic bands who has stood the test of time by staying unique to their style and being able to adapt to the demands of pop electronic music. Depeche Mode has sold over 100 million albums and singles worldwide. This makes them the most successful electronic band in music history. To this day, they are worldwide. Depeche Mode formed in 1980 and were strongly influenced by the pioneers of electronic music, Kraftwerk. Depeche Mode took the popular digital sounds of synthesizers and sequencers and continued to create unique sounds of their own and combined them with a unique image of punk. The inventiveness of Kraftwerk was inspirational to so many groups to follow them. One technique in particular was their drums, as described here by Kraftwerk's Karl Bartos.
We were using at that time the sequencer, and Man Machine was the first record on which we could link the drums with the sequencer. So I didn't play the drums, it was played automatically by the drum machine.
Kraftwerk's use of synthesizers, sequencers, and drums, rather than traditional instruments, was the foundation of success, and especially for Depeche Mode, who followed those same techniques. The simplistic use of the synthesizer was picked up, developed, and mastered by Depeche Mode's original lead singer, songwriter, and manager, Vince Clarke.
We just figured out that with something like a synthesizer, you only needed two fingers to play number one, and you could make these wonderful noises with this particular instrument.
Depeche Mode's sampling and experimentation with synthesizers was a sound they were known for. They were adventurous, talented, creative, and driven enough to be unwavered with their experimentation. As explained by one of Depeche Mode's producers and engineers, Gareth Jones, in the Classic Tracks interview, Depeche Mode's People Are People by Richard Buskin, one of the big things we were using samplers for at that time was to sample the world and make our own melodies and rhythms out of it. In my work with Depeche, I've never been that interested in using samplers to recreate conventional instruments. Instead, when the sampler came out, it was like opening a door of perception. Depeche Mode evolved into the pioneers of industrial pop, and this became their signature image. It was the electronic music's version of punk rock and welcomed all over the world. The influence of Kraftwerk, though, can't be denied, as explained here by Martin Gore.
I owned Autobahn. That was what really got us to go out and buy our first synthesizers, the whole, the things that were happening around that time with Kraftwerk.
And here by writer Simon Reynolds.
In terms of inspiring people to not just have a synthesizer in their rock band, but to be completely electronic, I think you can never underestimate the impact of Kraftwerk.
Depeche Mode successfully fulfilled pop music's need for electronic music to become mainstream. The president for Reprise Records, Howie Klein, describes it here.
I think it's pretty simple. Depeche Mode made it possible for electronic music to be part of the mainstream.
And Depeche Mode made it look cool with their image of punk. It had never been done before, and within 1 year of their uniting, they shot to success. The song that you're listening to in the background is a perfect example of what elements are very much like Kraftwerk. It's Depeche Mode's Dreaming of Me. To the shock of everyone in the music industry, Depeche Mode defied all odds. In 1988, Depeche Mode performed for a sold-out show at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California, and the narrator for Depeche Mode's Behind the Music Part 1.
Depeche Mode's 1988 concert at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena proved that four guys playing synthesizers had become one of the hottest bands in pop music.
According to Depeche Mode's tour manager, Andy Franks,
it was the first time that a so-called alternative band had ever done a stadium show.
And to radio DJ Richard Blade,
and no one had sold out the Rose Bowl. I mean, particularly an electronic band, a new wave band, selling out the Rose Bowl, it wasn't going to happen.
there were 72,000 people that night who proved the industry wrong. Again, tour manager Andy Franks.
You know, people just laughed about it. They said it's a joke, you know, they're going to end up with egg all over their faces.
But it was no joke.
Although they are known to have been influenced by others from the early 80s and share the same electronic music qualities, Depeche Mode have stayed together as a solid group. They have beat all odds by falling by the wayside of popularity. Their foundation of inspiration created by Kraftwerk will always be evident in their sound. Their top hit tracks continually stand the test of time as they took synthesizers and sequencers to the next level of music popularity.